and just say it. I don't like Travis Scott anymore. He's a fucking dweeb. It has nothing to do with the Astroworld thing. Him and this Astroworld thing, damn, that was a sad tragedy. I don't think that was his fault. But he's still a dweeb. I was starting to think he was a dweeb before all that happened.
No Clarence. What up? What's happening? What's cracking, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the No Clarence Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, here with two amazing people. I got the queen of the pod, KC.
Back at it again.
KC was good.
I'm alive and well.
Curls popping, KC. Curls popping. Alive and well is a beautiful thing. Indeed. We breathe.
My favorite saying of the week.
You know what I'm saying? That other voice is producer of the pod, greatest producer of podcast history. We got Mr. West.
Wake up, Mr. West.
Here with us.
I'm happy to be here. I won't be here next week, but I'm happy to be here.
He just be spewing out negativity. Ugh.
No.
Let's enjoy. Let's submerge in this moment.
No, I won't. I want to tell people I ain't gonna be here next week. I'm gonna be on vacation, a well-deserved vacation. I'll be traveling when we record it. And I'll be coming home, but still, I'll be on vacation.
Well-deserved. Me and KC gonna hold it down per usual. One thing about when me and KC record, you might get a 30-minute episode.
Yeah.
We got shit to do.
Believe that. Believe that.
They be like, all right, we go
sit there. Real easy to edit.
We gonna go through these notes. All right, man, break it down. We out here. Casey, I appreciate talking.
Y'all be like, boom, 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 boom.
Oh man. Once again, man, happy Father's Day. I hope all the fathers had a good weekend. You know what I'm saying? Hope you got to relax. Now it's back to business. Now it's time to get back to raising these kids. You feel me? But I hope you guys enjoyed your time. And then happy Juneteenth to all my black people out there. Hope you all celebrate well. Nice cookouts, fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I would like to see white people still working. But I get it. It's a federal holiday.
That's the goal. You know
that's
what I mean?
that's the goal. That's the goal.
It would be nice. That would be, But also, cool. I feel like you should. Also, I feel like you should acknowledge June. It's Juneteenth, so I'm conflicted.
True.
Like, maybe you should celebrate the fact that we're free.
The whites to the back. Maybe no.
It's not like we celebrating civil rights. It's not.
No, but this is our moment, though. Like y'all could.
Yeah, you know it. Fair.
It's our moment.
Fair.
They get 4th of July.
You know what?
I mean,
they got the 4th of July. They could
work
do it
on
up. Juneteenth. They could work on Juneteenth.
It's not only that they do it up. The American flag, you got American flag, towels, shirts, bathing suits. Like they go hard.
Shorts. They be like America.
Yeah,
they're patriots.
Yeah.
4th of July.
So
yeah. You gotta find some black-owned businesses selling Juneteenth merch. I don't want to buy.
That's not on BS. See, and I really want to support y'all, but y'all make it hard. You got to run like the white men run theirs. You know what I mean? Sharp, precise, straight to business. I don't want to hear it was TT birthday, so I couldn't make the sweater. No. I ordered the sweater 2 months ago. You know what I mean? How long did I have to wait for that goddamn mat, Jalen? That kicky mats. You know what I mean?
I think you drove to Houston faster than it got there.
And that's sad.
That's funny as hell. Before we get into the topics, man, I'm very excited. To announce, bro, I'm going to see Kendrick Lamar tomorrow at Northwest Stadium. Yeah, man.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Very excited for this, man. Like, I probably won't have a voice for a good 2-3 weeks. I already know it. Because I will be doing what I do. I go very hard at concerts that I'm like, when I know
passionate about it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm very much looking forward to that. Jay, did he end with Not Like Us, or did he end with
Nah,
TVO?
He ended no, he didn't end with TVO. He doesn't end with Not Like Us. It's the second to last song. But after he did Not Like Us, everyone started leaving.
Oh,
okay,
shit.
got you.
Because it felt like it was the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
And then he starts doing Luther. And I was like, oh yeah, he didn't do Luther.
I wouldn't have done. I would have switched that though.
Yeah, do Luther
I don't
last.
feel like
he does Luther last.
Yeah. Luther doesn't give like closing out vibes.
They got the whole track list on Apple Music if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, and ended with Luther the track list. I thought that was strange. So when Not Like Us ended, me and Jada was about to get ready to start packing. I was like, hold up, it ends with Luther. I mean, it was nice. My critiques of the show is.
Oh, we'll talk next week.
I don't want to ruin the experience for you, but I hope they don't have audio difficulties. Like
we'll talk next week.
She just said, see,
just saying.
Y'all got to log into the Patreon.
No, but that was my only. That was my only. It wasn't really a critique. That was my experience. They started having audio issues at the end.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really Kendrick's fault though.
Yeah. So I think even the audio technicians thought the show was over after Not Like Us because Luther sounded terrible because you couldn't hear him.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully they
hopefully they fix it, man. It's been a couple weeks.
All right. For those new to the show, we break our podcast down into a couple segments. Each of us have our own, I would quote unquote individual segments that we bring our, I don't want to say expertise, but we bring our knowledge to, we start with Jalen's Nerd News. Jalen is our nerd connoisseur, nerd expert. When we talk nerd, we mean Marvel, Star Wars, anime. Am I missing something? All that stuff.
All that.
Alien vs. Predator. Whatever sci-fi.
Anything in between.
All that good stuff.
Yeah,
anything in between. Stuff. All right. So before we get into that real quick, make sure you hit that
shit.
Vast window.
Sorry.
Before we get into it, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. Leave a comment for throughout the video or whatever you want to do. All right. So let's get into it. We got Jalen's Nerd News. Jay, what's going on, my boy?
All right. So this week we're gonna talk about Andor. It's been a minute. I know. I'm fully aware, but the show was so good I needed to sit with it for some time before I spoke about it. But before I start, I want Casey to be involved with this so she can understand how great this show is. It is hands down one of the greatest shows Star Wars has ever made. I want to say it's better than some movies. So I'm going to ask Tyler to explain Star Wars to Casey in a way that I think she'd appreciate. And I know Tyler will be really good at doing this. So Tyler, please break it down for Casey.
Bet. All right, Casey. Star Wars pretty much comes down to two factors: good versus evil. Evil is the Empire, real badass niggas. With Empire got motherfucking Darth Vader.
I know
what
that
I'm saying? Who originally voiced by James Earl Jones. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that man right there. Led by the Sith Lord. Now there's this really old, nasty looking ass nigga named the Sith Lord. That's the top dog.
That's the gray one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
nigga
gray,
always
he
wear
gray.
a big hood. That Darth Vader ain't even the top dog. There's a nigga over him, right? He the one that's really controlling things. Now, the original Star Wars, bro, the way this thing started out is these niggas built a spaceship strong enough to destroy planets. Shit's crazy. Like if y'all fuck with us, we'll just destroy your whole planet because it's a whole galaxy situation going on. You feel me? Now, the good side is the rebels. The rebels trying to fight the Empire. Take these niggas down. You feel me? Because they really some real fucked up ass niggas. So, throughout this part of Star Wars, we really follow the journey of the Skywalker family. The Skywalker being Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, you feel me? And we come to find out Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker, the father of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia.
Luke, right? I am your
Shit's
father.
Crazy.
Yeah, got that.
Yeah, Luke, I am your father. Exactly.
See, I got something.
So, dude, you got something. Now,
Yeah,
the technological
big pop culture moments,
Yeah, due to the not the best of technology, right? Star Wars started with the last 3 in the story. So it starts with episode 4, right? So it goes 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So we get the ending first and then the beginning or the origin story.
About the sequels.
Okay. I'm not gonna get too deep into what each movie is about, but pretty much In 4, 5, 6, the rebellions, they fuck up the Death Star. That's the name of the ship that can destroy the planets. In 4, they destroy the Death Star. In 5, the Empire's like, hey, bruh, you thought we was gonna quit? Nah, nigga, we coming back. You know what I'm saying? They start building the Death Star again. Darth Vader cut off his own son's hand trying to fight him and bring him over to the bad side, but Luke was like, nah, nigga, Kunta Kinte, you feel me? And so, and then in 6, they was like, yo, they destroyed the Death Star again. Not only did they destroy the Death Star, Darth Vader converted to the good side and killed the Sith Lord right before he died. Saved his son from the Sith Lord dying. So low key, Star Wars is like a story of a father just trying to save his kids. Shit's kind of crazy, right? Yeah. Now that's the 4, 5, and 6. We go to 1, 2, and 3, which is the origin stories. We get the origin story for Anakin. The first one starts off him as a kid. We meet him as a child. We realize the nigga's gifted. You feel me? In the second one, he's like a teenager with raging hormones. This nigga's just trying to have sex with the princess whole time. You feel me?
But he's not allowed to.
Yeah, but he's not allowed to because he's a Jedi. So he been trying to keep all these emotions in. You feel me? At the same time, nigga think he's like the most powerful Jedi of all time. He be trying to fight niggas when niggas be like, nah, bro, don't fight him. Nigga get his hand cut off. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit go. And then we get episode 3, one of my favorites. That is when the nigga becomes Darth Vader. When his master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, cuts the rest of his limbs off in a battle at the end. There was a battle at the end when he already switched sides. He already turned to the dark side. And his master was like, hey, bruh, you don't want to do this, bruh. He was really trying to tell him, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to do this.
You don't want these problems,
Episode 3 was low-key the end of the Jedi. They start killing all the Jedi and stuff, you know what I'm saying, to make sure they could take over. But my nigga Obi-Wan, he went to Anakin, was like, hey, bro, we got to end this. And he was like, nah, nigga, I'm on the other side now. So they was like, all right, we going to have to fight this one out. You feel me? My nigga Obi-Wan, he said, it's over, my nigga. I got the higher ground. And Cuz was like, hey, bro, you trying to play me. My nigga jumped up. Obi-Wan said, slice, slice, slice. Ooh. Nigga ain't got no limbs. Sith Lord go and find Anakin, turns him into Darth Vader, the little robotic ass nigga. That was the original Darth Vader. Now, here's where the shit gets crazy. This is where we get Andor. Okay? Pre-COVID, Rogue One. This movie pretty much fit this is like the final movie that connected the prequel and the 4, 5, 6. I forget what you call it. The original 3, right? They made a movie that connected them, where it was like this rebel group. They found the plans to the Death Star, which they could use to figure out how to destroy the Death Star, right? And it was a good ass movie because it literally ended with the beginning of episode 4. Like, niggas went crazy when they saw the plans being handed to Princess Leia in the theater. I'll never forget that shit.
Oh yeah, they lost their minds.
Andor is the show that leads up to Rogue One, the movie.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's just prequel on prequel on prequel. Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Me? Okay, that's helpful.
There we go. How was
excellent, that? Tyler.
That was
excellent.
Really good.
That was everything I thought you were gonna do. That was excellent. That's what I expected. I'm sorry. That was great. Casey, now I have a question for you. Do you have any questions?
I love when non-educators do educator things. This is great. I don't have any questions. I think that was self-explanatory. Very interesting. Yeah, that's a lot to process. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. It's very interesting. Like, that does sound, I can see the hype.
Yeah.
But wow. Yeah.
Real quick, man. I've been watching some nerd shit on Star Wars. Star Wars is the reason for digital effects, or for all of this
You
shit
mean like
that
what
we
is
are
that?
able to
CGI stuff?
CGI and
see.
stuff
Star
like
Wars
that.
is the reason for CGI. Like if it was Star Wars is the reason why there's a whole department dedicated to that stuff. They was like kind of the first ones to really do that.
Oh,
in theater.
that's dope.
Yeah, it's a crazy shit.
It's one of the reasons why you can't
So
watch
now-
the original version of the first movie because
It's
the
like
original
shitty.
creator, he went back and just
Yeah,
edited
he went back and-
everything to like
Yeah,
be modern with
Even though the
technology,
original was
how
fly.
he wanted the vision. Yeah, how he
The
he
original
makes
was-
everything to look like how he always envisioned it with CGI. It looks weird as hell, but it's cool, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah.
So Jay, what was your thoughts on season 2
Andor.
of Andor?
Okay, Casey. So, season 2 was you know what? This show is one of them shows that just kind of leaves me speechless. Because the first season, I was talking shit. I'll be honest with you. When they first announced the Andor show in general, I was like, ain't nobody give a fuck about this character from the movie from this movie. He wasn't even the main
I agree.
character. I was
I
talking
agree.
shit. I was like, I ain't gonna watch this.
At that time, they was failing. Star
Yeah.
Wars was failing. Now they had Mandalorian, which was an excellent show. But they fucked up with the Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett was not good. And I think they tried some other stuff. It just hasn't. It wasn't hitting.
It hasn't been hitting. So when Andor comes out, I have very low expectations. Maybe that's why I thought it was so good. But I think even if I had high expectations, I think it would have been just as good.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm coming into the second season. I'm like, this show is the best thing Star Wars has ever done. So I start watching the second season and I love every minute of it. Yes, it's a little slow in the beginning. I give you the first 6 episodes of the second season. I will say it's a little slow. But when you get to the second half of the season, it makes you appreciate all the time they took in the first 6 episodes. Because if they didn't take their time and have you fully understand the gravity of the events that was going to happen in episode 7, 8, and 9, it wouldn't be as good. Like this show, I never watched a show that was this good. I really haven't. I don't think I have. It really made you understand like how evil the Empire is. So like in Star Wars, Casey, the Empire, they're evil. But
Nobody knows why.
We don't know why.
That was gonna be my question. Is there
we
a reason why they've become
see
evil?
them do some bad things, but we don't ever see them truly do anything evil. In this show, it lets you see the evil side of the Empire.
In more detail.
Yeah, it makes you understand why the rebellion they desperately want to be free of the rebellion. I mean, of the Empire. And every episode just gets better and better and better. And this way they wrote the story and how they just set everything up, and it leads perfectly into the movie Rogue One, which leads perfectly into episode 4. It was just amazing. I know Tyler finished it recently. Tyler, what did you think?
So Casey, one thing I didn't tell you, and in Rogue One, the character Cassian Andor, who the show is about, he dies at the end, right?
Ooh,
they
man.
like everybody who gets the plans to Princess Leia, they die on the planet at the end. So leading up to this, it's like we know the ending. So you're watching this in anticipation of how does everyone at some point, all these characters are going to die.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or at least most of them, right? So now you just watch, I start watching in anticipation of that and all right, how they going to set it up, how they going to do this, that, and the third. And so, but no, you feel a real sense of, okay, this all makes sense now. And the thing about Star Wars, especially this show, no Jedi. This is a real, just people rebelling, fighting against a system.
You feel the desperation.
And it's not necessarily a Star Wars story. It's more of a story of what does it take for people to feel like, yo, we can't take this no more and we need to fight back.
Yeah.
So you felt way more emotion in that sense, more than like, oh, this is cool, lightsabers, niggas getting their hands chopped off, all types of stuff like that. You feel me? Great storylines. There's this one psychotic dude who's like being manipulated by this evil white woman.
It's weird.
He's a mama's boy, but he's manipulated by this evil little white woman, but she like loves him at the same time. They had the weirdest, like, not a sex scene, but a sex scene. Like they standing in front of each other and she just like, turn the lights off.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's like, what? She's like, turn the lights off. That's how the scene is. He turns the lights off and they're just standing there. I'm like, hey, yo, this shit is getting weird. It's getting funky. But no, great show. I don't know. What I want to recommend it to me recommending that to UKC is like me telling you telling me about the K dramas. You know what I'm saying?
Well, didn't want to be.
I know. You know, you probably will watch it. You know, but at least I said something. You feel me? And that's all I want to do.
I'll probably give it an episode or two. You gave the K drama episode or two.
I'm not gonna lie. The first, like, it took me a while to get past the first couple episodes of season 1. Like,
is season 1 that bad, Tyler? Like, what? I guess what's the difference between season 1 and season 2? Like, why is season 2
I'm gonna say this: season 1 is good.
Oh, okay.
It's just the episode starts so slow. Hard to hear. Episode starts so slow, and like when I was trying to watch it, I just wasn't in a place to be like trying to pay attention to it. And so it just took me a while to be like, you know what? As soon as I saw they was making season 2, I was like, all right, I need to watch. Yeah, I need to lock in. And once I logged in, I was like, yo, this is amazing. There's especially a show episode in season 1 when he goes to prison. And the way this prison set up, niggas is dying. Nobody telling the prisoners the right story. And the way the security is set up, like if they not in their rooms by a certain time, these niggas get like these electric jolts through their body.
Through the floor.
Shit's crazy.
Everyone got no shoes on. You're just walking around. And if you step on the floor, it's like the floor is lava, basically. Like you get electrocuted.
It's brutal.
Yeah,
It's a brutal episode, but they somehow get out. It was a whole.
And they have them building the pieces for the Death Star.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, like because the Death Star is not really a thing yet.
Yeah, they're working on it. The Empire's building it. So this whole show's leading up to like explaining how why Andor hates the Empire so much. And then it gets to what he's doing in order to stop the Empire and everything he does to try and rebel against the Empire. The first season in particular had this speech from one of the leaders of the rebellion, where this guy, he's talking about how he wants to leave and stop being a spy, and how he's like, I'm sacrificing so much every day, I'm in fear. And he's like, what have you sacrificed? And he just goes into this monologue of like, sacrifice, what have I sacrificed? Mm-hmm. I've sacrificed human decency. I've sacrificed this. I've sacrificed that. He's like, I've had to become my enemy to stop my enemy. I've sacrificed everything. Like you could deal. Like
that's powerful.
It's written. The show's written amazing. I don't think I've watched a show better than this show. And the second season just was like icing on top, and just how everything from like I said was saying before I got my Wi-Fi started acting up. They really truly show you the evil side of the Empire and why everybody hates the Empire. Everyone is living in a constant state of fear. It shows like how the politics, how the Emperor literally like turned into a dictator slowly by controlling the council and having all the senators afraid. And then eventually to a certain point where he's just like, fuck it. I need this resources from this planet. I'm just gonna kill everybody. Fuck it. Like it's just a
Yep.
brutal show. You
Yeah,
get to
the
really
show is
see like
and the show can get a little like reflection of the times type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can watch it and there'll be things you watching and be like, oh, this is them trying to feel like they trying to tell us what we should be looking for in this political environment and things of that nature. So, it's interesting because if you're not a Star Wars fan, I don't see somebody watching it, but I feel like they would like it if they was like, all right, I'm gonna get us a chance, even if I may not understand. Like, and you don't even need to know the outside, like the Star Wars. Maybe watch episode 4, but it's good, and it pretty much leads right up to the beginning of Rogue One. Yeah. I mean, they do a great job of just connecting everything.
Literally, like I think
kudos.
I watched it right after I finished watching Andor, and it makes Rogue One hit different.
Yeah,
it makes it hit different for real.
They do.
They do. But yeah, like I said, like you were saying, Tyler, I also think that even if you're not a Star Wars fan and you watch the show, you understand everything that's going on. It's not like, oh, you got to understand this. It's not like, oh, this is a callback to this movie. Nope. It's a straight up story. Like it's just its own thing. It's honestly how they should make Star Wars from now on. It goes very well with the times and the type of shows and movies people like. They like more gritty, realistic stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. No, you're right about it. You're right about that. It is
top tier stuff.
I'm glad we finally got to talk about it. Great television. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Star Wars because boy, I'm telling you, they just haven't. They don't. I don't expect a lot of TV net brands and networks to go, 100%. We've seen Marvel with the L's, we've seen DC with the L's, but Star Wars was looking bad for a minute.
They were looking bad.
Andor saved them. Saved them
for sure.
So we'll see. Yeah,
they can't do anything better than it. But
No, I will say they animated. I've heard a lot of things.
The animated shows are pretty
good things about animated.
The animated stuff
Bad
is
Batch
good.
And so
I will say that everything I've watched that was animated has been good so far. So, but that's been Jalen's nerd news. We loved Andor. Andor season 2 was fire. Recommended to everyone and all. And I'm happy to know that KC has a little bit more knowledge on how Star Wars works.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Word. That is Star Trek, but I hate it.
Well.
It's okay.
I will take it. May the force be with you.
Yes. May the force be with you.
Let's get into Tyler's turntables. We're gonna switch the format up just a little bit today. We will not do this every week. I like for black women to have a space. But due to what we're talking about, I'm going next today. This is Tyler's turntables. I discuss, hip hop albums. I try not to do too much gossip. I just like to focus on the music. But this is Tyler's turntables, an album that just recently released. I want to say today or yesterday. Shout out to Boz and the Hicks. They released an album called Melanchronica.
Melanchronica.
That's a tough word. That's a tough word for anybody.
Melanchronica.
Say it again, Tyler. Melanchronica.
Yeah, Melanchronica, like melanin, but
I've only read that word.
I should have looked it up. But so this collaboration of Boz and the Hicks, this has been going on for a while now. Yeah. He worked with them on Too High to Riot.
Great album.
A classic. A truly a hip hop classic.
I would say his best.
Anybody who's really,
I think it's his best.
Was that his best? That was his best work in 2016. I want to say released in 2016. Too High to Riot. The Hicks have always seemed to be a part of Boz's music throughout the years, and the Hicks is a group, a London-based indie. I don't want to call it indie.
Is it like a band or no?
Yeah, it's a band. It's a band. Starred by a singer. I don't know her name, but she has an amazing voice. And so we get this collaboration, and it looks like an independent project. I don't see Dreamville's
Tag
name
on
on
it or
this.
nothing?
I don't see Dreamville's tag on this album.
Yeah.
If you look at the if you go to the album on Apple Music, you scroll to the bottom.
It's just his name
It's
on it.
Oh,
yeah,
usually they put like, TDE or whoever.
Dreamville
Yeah,
record,
yeah.
Interscope, something like that.
Yeah, it just says
So
his name, his government name.
it's yeah, it's
Abbas
a
Hamad
very
Inc.
very interesting. But mind you, I just listened to it today, so this is off like 1 or 2 listens. It's an enjoyable project. Very much takes you on a ride of emotions. Very much focused on male female issues situation. It's a good mix of rap. It's a really good mix of rap and R&B. The Hicks, I've tried listening to them outside of Boz, but man, when they working with Boz, I think they really do shine. The lead singer, she has an amazing voice, and it all just seems to come together. I really enjoy the first song, Out of Sight. Everyday People is also a good one. And he has some decent features on his. Shout out to Ab Soul. I love Ab Soul on the feature. I can't really do his albums, but I love Ab Soul on the feature. Big shout out to Saba on there as well. Two rappers who really been busy lately. And so it's very interesting to see Boz make the moves that he does, because Boz really low key, he could rap with the best of them, in my opinion. Like, he can get his bars off, but when he does a lot of his solo projects, he really like slows it down and does a way more of a melodic tone when it's a solo project, as opposed to getting on like Revenge of the Dreamers or some of these other Jones and just letting the bars off. But I appreciate it because really a lot of Bob's music, timeless music. Like, it's not really based on this was popping during this year, this was popping during that year. You could put on a Boz album anytime and just be like, this feels fresh. This feels
And that's not an
like it's
easy
still
feat.
relevant.
That's not easy to do.
Not at all. Not at all. I low key was hoping for a Cozz feature. I know Cozz has been busy, but also know this is not. Sorry, fly just. I also know that this is not a Dreamville. Because I'm aware this is not a Dreamville record, but in every single Boz album, we've gotten a Cozz, and we definitely have gotten a J. Cole in every single Boz album. And this was the first time we did not get a J. Cole feature on a Boz album, which is, I mean, it's not disappointing because the album's good. It's just very interesting because now it's like, what is going on with Dreamville?
I think it's interesting because, Tyler, you mentioned before Ari Lennox's departure from Dreamville. So I wonder if he is also making that transition due to, you know what I mean? Maybe some internal things going on that don't necessarily align with the artist.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, there's a real question here of, because after listening to J. Cole's Inevitable series, right? He talks a lot about being a label owner, and based on his journey, and a lot of it was based, the way he moves as somebody who has a label is based on the way he was. It's based on the way he was pushed as a artist on Rock Nation. Jay just begging him for a single. Dog just giving his single. Where is it at? There was a lot of pressure on him. So much pressure that he couldn't artistically just make good stuff and release it. Like, he just was messing up in that route. So when he got the label, he was like, yo, we try to like back off as much as possible and just let them do things on their own time. And he was like, that could be a detriment to them, but we try to just almost stay out the way in a sense. And I'm curious as to, are the artists not feeling like
supported.
Dreamville doing enough?
Mm-hmm.
But Cole's like, y'all, it's really based on how much effort are you gonna put in, and then we'll try to back you up. That's what it seemed like. But mind you, though, Boz, I don't know.
His last album wasn't that great.
No, that's not true. I mean, it's one of those where you gotta go back and listen.
Okay.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I feel like coming fresh off. I mean, it
was 5 years since his last one.
Fresh off Too High to Riot, and I think there was a Milky Way.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had some joints that was hits, and we didn't necessarily get the hit off of his last album, but the album got some. Oh, it got some vibe. Passport Bros.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It got Jones on there. It's just not what we was used to. Because one thing about Boz, he a New Yorker, but he a real international type artist. Like he takes stuff from everywhere. You know, so music wise, like
he mixes and fuses things. Yeah.
It's gonna be very different from what anybody really has heard from most of our rappers. Like, so I don't know, man. I'm hoping Dreamville's still a thing. Shout out to JID. Shout out Earth Gang. Even Earth Gang put out an independent album last year.
That's so interesting that he's allowing them to do that.
I mean, but that's what Cole is though. That's the type of label owner he is. I mean, for Cole, it's like if you want to put out an independent, I ain't got to spend no money.
True.
I'm also thinking to the point. I'm thinking about the point you said of he experienced kind of, I wouldn't say micromanaging, but somebody who was pushing him right for music. Like, hey, we need something. So he's kind of his thing about it is more like, okay, I'm gonna go hands free. But I'm thinking some artists, if you're hungry and you're somebody that's gonna grind it out, like Doechii got it. She's like, I'm gonna get it however I need to get it. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking about artists that kind of, and I hate to say it this way because it belittles it, but maybe artists that kind of need hand holding, where it's like, hey, I want more of a mentorship than hey, I'm just, I got the money to push it. I think there's some artists that's like, yo, I just need the, the major label money, right? To kind of get to where I need to go. I got the rest. Versus those who are like, no, I want your opinion. I want to kind of spar. I want a mentor so that I can develop into an artist where I can move and do things on my own. So I can see some artists thriving under that, but I can also see somebody that's like, yo, I want to get better. And I can't get better on my own, so to speak.
Yeah. I will say though, for Dreamville to, in the last 2 years, right, Earth Gang was able to drop an independent album. Boz, of course, we see now has an independent album. Ari, she's left Dreamville. I don't know where her status is in regards to label.
The last joint she dropped, I feel like I don't think it was a whole.
I think it was
the one
EP.
with Queen Space. Yeah, it was an EP. It wasn't necessarily an album.
Queen Space, no, she dropped that. She dropped
the single after that.
Age, Sex, Location was the last album.
That was 3 years ago.
Soft Girl Era was her last single. But I don't necessarily know.
You know what?
Oh, that's strictly under Interscope Records. So she's strictly signed with Interscope. So I feel like now, while these, you could say Dreamville is leaving, but when you see people go from these smaller labels and then go to these large labels or do something independent, you could count that as a win though, really, for a Dreamville, or as we see with Kendrick going from TD to being his own man and still being just ridiculously large. I think it's more of a L when you see a lot of these artists leave a label and just drop. It's like clearly the label didn't do what they were supposed to do. I'm hoping Dreamville is able to find more talent to be able to develop, and more so than taking these artists and holding them down and making them stay under them.
Yeah.
It seems like what you see with Top Dog and what you're seeing with Dreamville is they actually educated them and built them up to be something bigger than what Dreamville is able to handle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at this point, and maybe they just are more for building artists who are need a looking for a fan base.
Gotcha.
But once you have it, and once you had a size, maybe it's like, hey, we can't really do much for you.
Yeah, like this doesn't fit me no more. I need something. I guess that I would assume that would be the point to Tyler's. You know what you're saying is like eventually the goal is where you're, you know, increasing your reach, right? And so it gets to a certain point where like the smaller record labels, they're not to say they're not good, but it only could take you so far, right? Like you need that extra push, that extra play, the extra power. So I get it. Yeah.
And especially with Cole working on the fall off, I would assume Cole is like, man,
he's dialed into that.
The fall off's supposed to be
distracted. Like he probably just thinking about this.
Yeah.
And so maybe a lot of them are just like, look, I got to get something off.
I think a label needs to give people push. I know like he likes the hands off thing, but like I feel like sometimes you gotta like maybe a nudge. Like, hey, where's the album, man? You know, just what
every now and then. It doesn't have to be like, yo, where's it at? Like,
where's the single? Where's the single? No, where's the album? How's the album going? You know what I'm saying? Like, not like where's the single? Where's the single? Because you know, I get that. Like, I feel like it needs to be a good balance. I feel like good record labels usually have a good balance of that. You know what I'm saying? TDE not TDE. Dreamville's in a weird place. You know. It's in a weird place.
I mean, it's a lot of rumors flying around, man. Like, look, I see Cozz. Let me check on Cozz's situation because he's been dropping a whole bunch of singles, and I'm curious if
you think he's about to drop a project next.
Man, the project has to be coming, right? I'm just curious if it's under Dreamville. Yeah, he's still dropping stuff under Dreamville.
JID's dropping this summer allegedly or this fall.
And so look, Dreamville could just be like, you know, we here for the spitters.
Yeah.
And maybe just revamping the roster that way. But Cozz has to be the next one up. He's been on a tear this year alone. He's been on a tear.
He dropped a lot of singles.
I just feel like this is going to be, if not the summer, it's got to be the fall. Don't have us waiting till the winter. Don't have us waiting till daggone November, December for this man to drop. And Dreamville should do everything and put everything behind him for this release because I feel like we're going to get some really good music. That's just my feeling. You know. Yeah. Shout out to him. Shout out to Boss and the Hicks. Really nice vibe. Yeah, I definitely will listen more. It's one of those albums I'm listening more. This ain't the Carter 6. You feel me?
Oh shit.
Yeah, the Carter 6 gonna catch strays forever.
Carter 6 gonna.
I feel like you like it less this week than you did last week.
You know what's a testament to Tyler's opinion is Jalen, who's a diehard Lil Wayne fan. Even she was just like, it was trash. Yeah. For her to say it was trash, takes a lot.
It was not good.
No.
Terrible production. Lil Wayne's team failed him. He needs to go back to Bangladesh. You know, he needs to go back to the boys.
Does he even have a team anymore?
I feel like who was the producer on it? It was
there was a bunch of them.
No, but there was like a dang, I can't think of his name. It's like the main producer of the album is somebody that is like Jalen was like, he's out of touch. He's not somebody that like nobody's looking for beats from him.
I thought there was just that one song, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh yeah,
the nigga that did
song. The nigga that did Hamilton produced a song
in the Heights. He does musicals.
He produced Peanuts 2 and Elephant.
Yeah.
He does.
It was
musicals.
someone, but I just do think I feel like Wayne hasn't given us something in so long that maybe the anticipation was like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes when you're waiting for something so long, you dream it up to be something bigger than it actually is, or better than what it actually is. And I feel like that's what
I
happened.
promise
I'm
you.
gonna be
I
honest with
promise you. I knew this was gonna be
I was not anticipating it.
trash.
Damn.
The Carter 5 wasn't
The
good.
Carter,
No,
the
that's
Carter
true.
5 was extremely
Everybody
okay.
says after Carter, I think 3 or 4, they're like it just
The Carter
it lost
4
its touch.
was when it first started getting finicky. Like it had some hits on the Carter 4, but it did start getting finicky.
Yeah.
For
All
sure.
right. I ain't want to get into that. I just wanted, I will be listening back to Melanchronica. I said that right. Melanchronica. Shout out to Boss for that and the Hicks for the lovely, lovely vibes in the music, man. So now it's time to clink your teacups, man. Clink, clink, clink. We get into Casey's tea. Casey gives us the Casey got an ear to the streets. You feel me?
I try to keep
married.
my ear to the street.
I'm married. I got a kid. Jay married. We just not in it.
I ain't
We
in the
just not
streets
there
like that,
we
you
used to.
know. Not anymore.
Yeah, y'all lost y'all
KC,
edge.
she down in Houston. You feel me? She outside. So we got KC's tea. KC, what's going on?
Hey, it's your favorite segment, Casey Tea Time. For this tea time, it is low-key a Netflix recommendation / tea. So this past weekend, I had the pleasure of watching Trainwreck, the series. So on Netflix, they have different mini documentaries where they're kind of zooming into different like things that were like catastrophes. So the first one that they spoke about was Astroworld, right? And so this is obviously a documentary. Astro. This is a chilling documentary that explores the tragic events of Astroworld, the festival that occurred on November 5th, 2021, where a crowd surged during Travis Scott's headline performance in Houston, Texas, shout out H-Town, resulting in the death of 10 people and injuries to hundreds more. The film unpacked a night meant for entertainment, joy, bliss, turned into a fatal disaster, analyzing the role of the poor event planning, inadequate security, and alarming lack of crowd control, and looking at the crowd control failures. Through the firsthand accounts, cell phone footage, expert interviews, documentary experts, and things of that nature, they expose the pursuit of the spectacle and the profit overshadowing safety concerns. It also goes into critique not only the response that was received from Live Nation, but also the response from Travis Scott, local authorities. And it also raised a lot of questions about who is truly accountable when we're thinking about what really occurred. And so ultimately, the Trainwreck doc or series from about Astroworld serves as a sobering reminder of the human cost of neglect in the live event management, and as well as the call to urgent reform when we are thinking about live concerts and their safety. So after watching this, y'all are so silly.
Okay, Laura LaRosa. Okay, Laura LaRosa.
Hey. Read that.
Okay,
notes ready.
Okay, Laura LaRosa.
So, you know what I mean? I'm trying to come correct. So,
okay.
With all that being said, I think the part that really stuck out to me is the flow and format of Travis's set. So I didn't realize, obviously I knew that there was this festival, right? But as any festival, there's multiple stages, correct? Even though there's multiple stages, usually like it's multiple stages being used at once, right? So if I have this one set that has Jasmine Sullivan, there's another set that has, I don't know, Linkin Park, right? But in this instance, Travis's stage was left untouched. So he was the only person that got to perform on that set. And the best way I can explain the layout or setup is like there were two C-shaped fences that were back to each other, giving you like walkways for paramedics. The issue with this is, I forgot who the last act was. I believe it was SZA was the last performer before Travis. So when she was wrapping up and people kind of felt like, okay, this is ending, they bum rushed one side of the C's fencing. And in that one side, which was the left-hand side, that's where all the fatalities happened and all this mess occurred. Now, I mean, we could sit here and blame all these people, but I ultimately think Live Nation is at fault. My rationale for this is if you have a festival, you have to know what capacity the space you're in can hold. So the space they were in was NRG, shout out NRG. NRG can roughly hold about 3,500 people. They had about 50 some people there for this festival, right? You had people bum rush when the gates opened. So really, it was 50 some, but it could have easily been more than 50. You had people bum rushing. They're not scanning their tickets. These are also, when we're thinking about age, these are like high school, maybe middle school students. These were a lot of young kids.
KC, it only held 3,500 people. They have 50,000 people there. It only holds 3,500.
I'm sorry, not 35,000. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. I was like,
but
oh my God.
Even then, even with that, it's just, in my personal opinion, I think Live Nation was wrong because I would think it would be better to undersell than oversell, especially when we're thinking about a festival. This is not like Woodstock where we're out in the, it's a whole bunch of acres of empty land.
It was an enclosed space, right?
It's kind of enclosed, but NRG is like in the middle of the city, really. So it's only so much, free roam space you can have. But I say all this to say it was really sad to hear the story. It was interesting to see the kind of impact and connection Travis has to Houston. I'm a Houston transplant, so obviously I'm not like really locked in like that. But the excitement behind Astroworld and the money it brought in for the community and the connection it had, it's really sad that it went this way. But I do think when we're thinking about festivals or concerts, we got to think about capacity. I think that was ultimately what messed them up. Also thinking about personnel, like the fact that there wasn't people to regulate, okay, I send 10 here, I send 10 here. Right? The fact that one side was so stuffed, and just so y'all understand how packed it was, people were describing it like we were standing there and you could feel people move you forward. It's like you couldn't just stand in the space you were in. People were pushing you forward. This is also minutes before Travis is on. So he's not even on yet, and people are kind of like getting excited. When he came out, people fell down. There were pile-ups. So like, let's say I would fall down, people were stepping over people. So like, Tyler, if you fell, people are like walking over you to get closer to the stage. And then, you still have people moving forward. It was just too tight. It's sad because, I mean, you had people that were like, I can't breathe. People passed away from suffocating.
I was going to say, it was like people you drowned in people. That's what it was. Like, you was drowning in people.
That's the best way to describe it. Mm-hmm.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been to a festival. I think my last one was Pharrell's, Something in the Water in DC. And at least the two that I've been to, right? They put an artist on the main stage before the main act. You get what I'm saying? So it just wasn't smart to leave Travis Scott's stage
empty, like
untouched.
That. Yeah.
For that gonna fly. It wasn't smart for
and it was
Travis
the whole
Scott's
day because he came
untouched.
on at like 9.
Because if you don't have people there earlier, as you saying, like yo, Travis Scott. Okay, Travis Scott's music, his whole aura is about rage, like bringing this level of energy. I'm sure his concerts are absolutely amazing, but that's the type of people that's coming to these concerts. They're ready to jump up, bump into each, like, do whatever
the mosh
they have
pit
to.
thing.
Mosh pit.
That's what it was too. That mosh pit thing, that's something dangerous. And I really truly feel like there was just not enough space for him to do that whole mosh pit, like rage vibe. It was just too tight.
I mean,
it's been a thing for
we've seen it at
20,
other concerts. We've seen it at Kanye's Life of Pablo.
Yeah, it was a whole. I feel like it was a whole feeling on like the people who organized the festival in general.
I mean, Live Nation is.
Yeah.
I think they're the ones that pretty much like Travis Scott's name is behind it, like his Travis Scott's ideas, but Live Nation puts his stuff together.
I also forgot to mention too, when they're realizing, so finally when paramedics and people are realizing like, oh shoot, people are like getting seriously injured, like we need to cut the show, we need to end it, they couldn't find the only two people that can cut the show, that literally had access to hit the button and say no. So that was the other thing, is like people are scrambling to find these people. Travis, the artist has the earpiece, but they're not communicating to him for real what's happening. There was one part in the documentary where Travis is like on a platform that's elevated and you can kind of see over the crowd. And he did stop at one point to get somebody out of the mosh pit. But even the way, it's so eerie, the way they carried that guy out of the mosh pit, you can tell, hey, he's gone. Like his body was just so, because I'm thinking of when you crowd surf, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you have people that are kind of still, but they're kind of, you can still see movement. He was gone.
He was just limp.
He was just limp. And then people were upset because Travis is still like turning up and still going. I mean, to a certain extent, I get it and I understand as an artist, it's like, yo, I'm going off of what I'm told, right? I know that artists probably only have like creative leverage unless you're like Beyonce status where you can like, you're running and doing everything literally yourself. But outside of that, I mean, you're literally just a puppet and you have to do what they say. I do feel bad for the 10 victims. I think it's a horrible way to go, especially when, the day started with so much joy and everybody was so turned up and happy. And it does suck because Astroworld, we had Astro Six Flags here in Houston. And so a lot of Houstonians felt a connection to Astroworld because it felt like they were getting that back. It was like part of their childhood, memory that like we can all share in. You know what I mean? So
was that the first year they did it too, that festival?
After
that
COVID,
was the first year
back.
time.
Yeah, post-COVID.
I just remember seeing TikToks from it when it was happening.
Yeah.
You like,
I mean, it's insane. But I say this to say, like, if you are
that.
at a festival or anything
people,
like
you
that,
were
just
watching
be aware
people
of your
die.
surroundings. Know that, like, hey, if you see mad people going into one section, go into the other. And it's so sad that it was just one side. Realistically, had somebody been there to just, you know what I mean, make sure it was balanced out, we could have avoided the casualties. But then Travis later on went on tour, still with Live Nation as his promoter, and made them like 200 something million on tour. So I mean,
good for them, I guess.
I guess they recouped. But yeah,
that's just so sad that all those people died.
Yeah, but I mean,
at a music festival of all things, like they're supposed to be a good time.
I just watched the Woodstock 99, and so it's interesting. If you're somebody that's into,
is that the one with DMX?
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. That I think if you're somebody that's interested in like festivals, concerts, and music and documentaries, I think it's a good watch. It's solid.
It's like a sea of white people. That's the scariest shit ever.
And they had what is it? James Brown at Woodstock 99 too. I was like, okay,
Woodstock crazy.
I was like, what are we making? But yeah, Woodstock 99 was worse. They like had fires and taking down poles.
Women were getting assaulted and stuff. It was that was a mess. It was Woodstock 99 was the reason they never did Woodstock again.
Yeah,
like the white freak Nick.
Literally, yeah. No decorum.
Sure. It definitely was the white pick.
That's all I have for tea time. Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Shout out to Casey.
Man, that was a tragedy.
You know what I'm saying? Casey,
great
wonderful
job, Casey.
reading.
Yeah.
Wonderful reading. That was truly excellent.
Yeah, great.
I thought I was a good reader. I gotta work
she's an educator. She is an education.
Speaking of Travis Scott, he's in the news, man. Not only for this documentary, but some shots were fired his way. Not lyrical shots. First of all, here's the thing. The Clips have an album coming out in July, I believe. Here I go again, Jay, with this bullshit. Let me look up the name of the album real quick. The Clips have an album coming out. It is going to be called Let God Sort 'Em Out.
Great album title, by the way. That's tough as fuck.
And so they have dropped the single Ace Trumpets. And then the today, at least that's what I saw today. They dropped a video called "So Be It." Now, for those who don't know, Clips is Pusha T and his brother Malice. Well, No Malice, also formerly known as Malice. He stopped talking about drugs.
He done made all that money. Yeah, smart. Get out.
He going by Malice on the album, by the way.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because Malice is what bring the coin in,
huh? Dang, did I get the line? Oh, here we go. So anyway, at the end, literally the last verse of the song, "So Be It," he say something about a utopia. Heard the nigga crying. It was some other shit. Y'all just go hear the song, right? So I'm gonna read to y'all what was said on X. What a reporter talked to Pusha T. I'm gonna read to y'all pretty much why Pusha T is saying what he's saying. Pusha T calls Travis Scott a whore when saying why he dissed him on "So Be It." Pusha T says he felt disrespected when Travis played Utopia without playing Drake's Meltdown verse, which dissed Pharrell. We were in Paris, literally working, and he was calling to play P his new album. This is words from Pusha T.
Okay.
He came to Pharrell's studio at Louis Vuitton headquarters where Clips recorded most of Let God Sort Him Out. He interrupted a session. He, being Travis Scott, interrupted a session. He sees me and Malice there. He's like, oh man, everybody's here. He's smiling, laughing, jumping around, doing his fucking monkey dance.
Oh shit.
That's what he said. Yeah. We weren't into the music, but he wanted to play it, wanted to film us and Pharrell listening to it. And then a week later, you hear Meltdown, which he didn't play. He played the song, but not Drake's verse. Pusha also says Travis has no loyalty. He said he don't have no picks, no loyalty to nobody. He's a whore. He's a whore.
The verse was brutal too.
Verse is brutal.
The roots, I got the lyrics for the verse. He said, "You cried in front of me, you died in front of me. Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me. Her utopia had moved right up the street and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat. Ugh. The neck gone, call it the way that they see it, but I got the video. I can share and AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it, so be it. So be it."
Ooh.
Pusha T knows
out of all people, Travis
how
Scott,
to market.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, these motherfuckers hate Calabasas. I mean, this place can't be that bad.
It's nice. It's really nice. It's pretty nice. It's top tier.
Pusha T, as we know, he's been in some beefs in the past. Of course, he was the first to successfully take out Drake. I thought he did.
I don't think he took out Drake, but he did put a chink in his armor.
He put a big chink in the armor.
I was about to say, not a small one. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't saying it was. I'm just saying he didn't fully take out Drake because Drake.
No.
Fair.
Like, he did put that first chink in there, exposing his child and all that.
I believe the album was Daytona.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The 7th album, and he Infrared. He
and then the story of Adidon.
Drake. Story of Adidon. That. Pusha, and the thing about Pusha, man, as much as you want to say like, yo, he's got an album coming out, whoop-de-whoop, he genuinely be like not liking niggas.
Yeah.
Like this ain't, if he ain't have a problem with him, he wouldn't have put it on wax. They still would have dropped his album. We've been waiting on this album since the last song of the previous project. You know what I'm saying? Of Pusha's previous project. Lord Jesus, I'm forgetting these album names. What the name of that motherfucker? It's Almost Dry. So on the end of It's Almost Dry, we get a song with his brother. And it's like, oh snap. Is he back? Is Malice back? So there's like, we got a Clips song, and then the Clips performed a couple years back at the festival together with Pharrell. And it's like, oh snap, niggas working.
Yeah.
In the
working
lab,
now.
yeah.
If this story was back when Utopia dropped, they've been working for a minute. So I can't fathom this being a play of like, yo, we just try and get attention for the album.
It's just too long. That's too long. That's too long of a time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so long of a. Wait, I'm checking to see when Utopia came out. 2023. That's 2 years, so probably 3 years ago.
Yeah,
It's
nobody's
long
gonna hold
enough.
on to something
Yeah,
for
no-
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That nigga held on to that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
so
but I
he
don't think
definitely
it was
used
because
it.
for promo. I think he
think
really
so.
felt
He's
that.
like, I had to
That's
put this
really
on
promo.
wax.
It's really promo.
He has like, I had to put this on wax.
I think it's for promo. At the end of the day, it's for
I don't
promo.
know.
It's all
I
for
don't
promo.
see. I mean, he probably figured it wouldn't hurt.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
for
what I mean?
sure, for sure.
But I
They did
think
make
that
it-
he really felt
yeah.
this way. Yeah,
Well,
I think he really felt
that's
this
what I'm
way.
saying.
The reason I think it's for promo is because he didn't have to do an interview about the song and address it as
that's
soon
true.
as the video dropped. You get what I'm saying? So like he could have just left the verse on there and not said nothing.
And just let it cook.
Yeah, he
That's
added
true.
to it. He letting people know he don't fuck with Travis Scott. I mean the verse itself. So like I respect it, but it just feels like
How
I'm
do
gonna
we
be
feel-
Tyler's advocate real quick.
Let's talk about Travis being a hoe though. Let's get
I
to
just
that.
feel like
That's
it's
good.
an old nigga hating on a young nigga. That's what I feel like. It's an old nigga doing old nigga things and shitting on a young nigga. Yes, the shit that Travis Scott did was corny. I agree with the corniness, but like, it feel like he punching down. Travis Scott ain't
Not
on his level.
necessarily.
What's Travis Scott
Not
gonna say? Oh, straight up. Like, what the fuck is he gonna say? What are you gonna say in respond? It's not like we have a lyrical exercise going on.
No, that's true.
You know? So like, and Travis
You're not
Scott is
lying.
one of the biggest niggas out.
You're not lying, but at the same time, bro, I think we are in a space
It
where
is corny,
niggas have
though.
been
It's mad corny.
niggas have been calling out other niggas for what they do behind the scenes.
Look what Kendrick did. Look what
we
Kendrick
saw
started.
that with Kendrick. If Travis Scott is out here,
Being a hoe.
Why
That's a
would you go
hoe
to
ass nigga
Pharrell?
move. That's a hoe ass nigga move.
he didn't have to go to Pharrell at all.
He did it.
I think that's the whole point of it. You went to Pharrell's, desperate to hear Pharrell hear your album Utopia, which, by the way, that album was garbage. Man, Fiend, I love me a Fiend. I love Fiend. That song go crazy.
Fiend. Yeah, the kids go crazy for that
That
shit.
song's ass.
But we gotta stop acting like. I mean, every artist gonna love what they put out, right? I get it. But this nigga went through all that for Utopia. That's the part that for one is messed up. Why would you go to Pharrell after Drake been throwing shots at Pharrell?
No, I mean he bought his jewelry type shit. Like this, yeah. It's not a secret.
How can you throw shots at Pharrell?
You play him the album and not play Meltdown. And then you gonna put that on the album and then you release it. Like
Here's
that's wild.
You picture Pusha T's face during this listening session.
and probably disbelief. Here's the thing I'll say about
I'm
Travis.
pretty
Travis is relatively young. Let's go with Jalen's like, oh, he's a young guy. I think he is truly the epitome of I'm just fucking happy to be here. You know what I mean? I'm just happy to be here. It's like when your mom tells you got to bring your little brother somewhere. It's like, I'm just happy to be riding with y'all. So I think sometimes his excitement comes off very chaotic and it's like, yo, I think that's what he's referring to, his monkey dance. When Travis gets like excited, I think he's outwardly
He is
about
a
it, right?
dweeb too.
You know what I mean? And I
Scott's a
do
dweeb.
think I do think to a certain extent he has nerd-like, tendencies and things of that
No,
nature.
not nerd.
Now,
dweeb.
so what would we call it? Okay,
a dweeb. He's a dweeb.
And so
Ever
I
seen
think
True Basketball?
dweeb, not the.
now I'm trying to think of what the hell a
That
difference
nigga
between
made
a dweeb and a nerd.
The nigga made the shot, Jake.
Oh, see, convenient, huh? So I say all this to say I think that Travis is somebody that is young where he's like, I know that there's a point in time where I'm gonna want to collab with other artists, and I know I'm running the risk of other artists not fucking with Drake. It's kind of similar to my homegirls say this about Megan. They like, I don't like that Megan's so fucking friendly. Like she's cool with it seems like everybody, unless she, outwardly has a situation.
That's a female problem.
I don't think that's a female.
I think so.
That should be crazy, bro.
No, I don't think it's a female. I think
they be cool with
no. I think the issue is it's kind of like to what Pusha T saying is like you don't have a side. Like at the end of the day, you gotta have. You're gonna fuck with everybody, right? I'm gonna be professional with everybody, but I can't read who your core people are. Yeah. And to me, if you don't have a core group of people you fuck with, that you could say like, at the end of the day, these are my people. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like Kendrick is very clear who Kendrick fucks with. You know what I mean? Pusha T, similar. He's very clear about who he fucks with. But I do think it's the younger generation. They're more excited to be there. They just are like happy to get the opportunity to live their dream out for real, realistically. So I don't think he sees it in a sense of like on no sneak shit. I think he's just like, hey, just to avoid
any conflict, situation. I want to be friends with everybody. That's what I think
he's just non-confrontational. And I do see how that could be read as, yo, that's funny, that's weird. But it's like, if I know, Tyler, you don't fuck with somebody, why am I going to play you a track where that somebody is spitting?
That's a great fucking point, Casey. Great fucking point. Why would I play that verse if I know he disrespected you?
You know what I mean?
Want me to go? I want Drake on the album, but I'm not going to go to Pharrell and play him his diss.
Honestly, I would think that's you being an instigator had you played that.
Yeah.
If you know this nigga's going in, right? And you play it, it's like I'm pussy if I don't say something, right?
You know what
so it's like you put me in a weird, you know what I mean?
You know what he should have
being considerate.
You know what Travis should have did? Would have made him a hoe. Because it's a whole move. You know what I'm saying? I still think it's a whole move. He should have said, hey, yo, I just want to start by saying we got Drake on the album. He took a shot. Let me be the first to tell you he took the shot. If you want Pharrell to listen.
I'm not the one to stop the creative flow.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's a stream of community. I get where Pusha T's coming from because he could have just said, hey, just so y'all know, we got Drake on the album. He took a shot at you, P. He could have said some shit like that. But he over there acting like a dweeb dancing. Acting stupid.
I do that shit.
I'm not doing that again. My ancestors won't allow it. But, I just think...
That nigga probably walked in like, hey, what's up, P? Look to the left. Oh, shit. Everybody here today. Oh, shit. Oh, man, P. I didn't know.
Travis Scott fucking dweeb ass dude.
I think it's interesting because, Drake. Drake was on Astroworld, of course, with
he had the best song,
one of the biggest songs of the fucking decade, and also the biggest diss to Kanye we heard in a minute. So I find it interesting that a lot of people still working with Travis Scott. If I'm being honest with you, he really, honestly, you don't even see a lot of the top dogs working with Travis Scott like they used to. We probably won't get another Travis Scott and Kendrick verse.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
really,
I'm okay with that.
Cause when you on Goosebumps?
Yeah.
That was a while ago. With that, huh? That was a while ago.
Oh man,
that was also
there's certain things that I feel like he has a couple of K-Dot features too. So it's like, let's not be greedy. You know what I mean? I also think too, when we're thinking about the older MCs or the older rappers, it's like a lot of them are not really pumping out music like that for real. Like if we're thinking about Pusha T, like when was the last time he dropped something? So I think that's the other thing too, is like the younger generation of rappers, I feel like they're in the like, hey, let me push out as much as I can because I don't want to, you run the risk of being forgotten. I think our older MCs have established themselves so well that they know I'm cool. I don't got to drop shit all the time.
Yeah, but in my opinion, and I may be wrong, in my opinion, I think Travis Scott is on the upper echelon of artists. I'm not gonna say rappers, but of rap artists,
artistry,
of this industry. He's there. So I don't know, especially after Astroworld. When I think of this situation, I'm like the yearning for
And there wasn't a lot of artists that kind of, stood by him during that time too. So I see what you mean by that.
Yeah, good point.
The yearning for approval by this nigga is a little crazy to me. On top of that, and the plus, he was trying to get it recorded. He was trying to make sure niggas heard, saw that he was doing this type of stuff. And we've seen him in the past, like playing music and acting crazy while the music going on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just be feeling like, man, your shit is great. We really don't need niggas like.
Oh, that's wild. He's in our generation. He's a millennial. He's 34. That explains a lot.
Travis Scott is 34 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Scott is 34 years old. You're telling me
he dropped rodeo while we was in school, bro.
Jacquees Bermine Webster II was born April 3rd, 1991.
I mean, yeah, I know he dropped rodeo when we was in college, but like I thought he was like our age, like 20. Yeah. Like 19. I didn't know he was 34 years old. That makes it even cornier. He was 32 at the time.
I know. So here's the thing. This is what I'll say, because I'm really trying to advocate for Travis, because I think there's a level that he's brought to the game as far as artistry, as far as like creative thought process. Although his music does not, like when my students used to play it, I'm like, yo, turn that shit off. Like I can't get with it. But to understand the next level of what rapping is for these kids, he's done that. Like I can't say that there's somebody that has done it better than him or has done it to a higher extent. Does that make sense? So I feel like for him, if you feel like you've accomplished so much, right? You would think like, yo, why don't people kind of, he probably feels like he's not getting enough flowers. Then the Astroworld situation happened, which I'm sure realistically, I feel like if you look at it, he was on the come up because we were talking a lot about him. And then all of a sudden Astroworld happened. And then it's like silence. It was night and day. If you look at the news reportings leading up to Astroworld, it was like he is like Houston's hero. And then tragedy strikes, and then all of a sudden the like flip switched. So I feel like he's almost trying to gain back that like that credibility, that like, you know what I mean? Where everybody's like, yeah, he the one. Like he has something.
He did a little.
Now it's like you have
for that
to,
album in general. For that album in general, he did a little too much. He was trying to do that whole performing at the pyramids and all types of stuff like that.
He was performing in Fortnite and shit.
This does make me think at that time in his career, I feel like he was, as you said, Casey, he was trying to overperform or like prove that he's still who he was. Mm-hmm. So I guess, trying to get all of that stuff done, I see where this mistake could have been made.
Yeah.
But Pusha T don't care.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about that.
Doesn't care about none of that shit.
I think I'm gonna embrace my inner hater. I'm gonna embrace my inner hater.
Pusha T, yeah.
I'm gonna embrace my inner hater and just say it. I don't like Travis Scott anymore. He's a fucking dweeb. It has nothing to do with the Astroworld thing. Him this Astroworld thing, damn, that was a sad tragedy. I don't think that was his fault. But he's still a fucking dweeb. I was starting to think he was a dweeb before all that happened.
What's a dweeb? What's the difference between a dweeb and a nerd? Like, Tyler about to fight this fly. A
nerd, this fly about to fuck with Tyler. Bro. A nerd is just like someone who's just like into nerdy stuff and geeky stuff, right?
You can't define a word with the word.
Let me listen. But when I say nerd, you think of like people into nerdy things. This nigga's really trying to kill a fly. Oh! A dweeb,
I just knew that wasn't
damn, he shut off his light.
I think he hit the light.
Jesus.
Okay, yeah, so what? So a dweeb is what?
So a dweeb is like someone he's uncoordinated. He just looked like
clumsy, like it's clunky.
He's like lanky and weird shaped. You ever see? All I say is watch him shoot a basketball, and you'd understand what the fuck a dweeb is. Travis Scott.
Okay, clarifying question: is a dweeb that kid that was in the hallway running like he was in anime? Is that a dweeb or is that a nerd?
That's a dweeb. Doing the Naruto run.
Yeah.
A dweeb would do the Naruto run because I was watching the Naruto run. I was watching Naruto and I wasn't doing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But also at the same time, a lot of them kids.
Damn, so you think Travis was out here running like that?
Oh, for sure. That nigga was running, doing the Naruto run when he was a kid in high school. Fucking Travis Scott. Travis Scott. Travis Scott don't even know how to take don't even know how to handle a woman. Travis Scott.
Oh, I mean, he got 2 kids.
Oh, what
know how to do something.
He ain't got Travis Scott ain't got it. I'm a hater. Fuck Travis Scott. He ain't got it.
Screaming.
He lost it, unfortunately. Astroworld was great. Got me hype. Tyler remembers. We was in the car. You know what I'm saying? We was in the car driving, you know what I'm saying? No bystanders.
No, I mean, and I'm not into the loud music, but I fucked with that album.
Fuck Travis Scott, bro. That's how I feel about him. Put your shirt on. You're skinny. You got a chicken chest. You got a chicken chest, Travis Scott.
Oh, what?
You a hoe ass nigga, just like Pusha T said.
Oh, yeah, don't clip this up. I'm not
gonna. I never agree with Pusha
T. He does it. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. I look forward to the next Clips album where we listen to a nigga rap about cocaine for at least 8 songs. At least 8 to 10.
At the minimum.
I'm looking forward to it very much.
I need to hear cocaine at least once.
This is the No Clearance Podcast. Make sure check out the convo before the convo. Go to patreon.com/no clearance for extra $5. You get the extra content from us. And then make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube page. If you're not subscribed, like the video, leave a comment, let us know what you think of the episode. And then go to KC's page. Go to Dare to Talk.
Yeah, come on, y'all need to show me some love because I'm out here pumping out videos. I'm giving y'all content.
She is. Yeah. She is letting you guys know how to not burn when you outside trying to get that tan. Something I have failed at immensely. Yeah. I missed the video.
Gotta take them tips to DR.
Yes. Please stay black. Make sure you stay black.
Stay blessed.
Peace.